All right, everybody, let's get started here. Very active evening and overnight. Let's get started on that here. Let's take a look at the Doppler radar, though, across the area. Not seeing a lot out there. Just some showers around Jacksonville, a few little showers around Center. Looks like a few little showers moving over us here in DeKalb County, but let's take a look at things, what we expect. Let me go ahead and get that information up really quick. Give me just a second and we'll get all that set up. I know it's probably not showing you the correct thing at the moment. Okay, let me get that back up here. Okay. You should be able to see everything here in just a second. There we go. All right, let's get this information pulled up here. SPC, of course, we discussed yesterday whether we thought it would come this far, and I said I believe it would. SPC has introduced a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms for all of northern Alabama. This does include DeKalb, Jackson, Marshall counties in northeast Alabama. The primary threats, let's take a look at the threats, and things have really ramped it up a good bit. We now have a 5% risk of tornadoes all of northern Alabama. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on. We'll take a look at timelines and all that here in a minute. We also have a hatched risk for damaging straight line winds. Very high risk. A hatched risk means they expect some significant damaging winds out of this stuff in this hatched area. 60 to 70 miles per hour with the possibility of higher gusts than that. So we've got a 30 to 44% chance of damaging winds in this hatched area. So a very, very significant event unfolding here for later on this evening and even into the overnight. Severe hail potential is at about 15%. So we do have a threat of damaging hail, but it's about 15%. Now, let's move on here and take a look at the models as far as the significant tornado perimeter goes. This one's going to show a good bit of where we can expect the tornadoes to be most active. And I already know they're going to be the most active up in Tennessee, but still, even in our area with a 5% risk, that's very concerning. So let's go ahead and get that up really quick. Get that forecast loop here. So let's move that forward a bit. And there's our line coming on in. It looks like, let me back it up just a bit. So we do have some ingredients there for sure for some, tornadoes as well. It is on the lower side of things, but we do have some there. The highest threat, of course, being over Tennessee here. Looks like all this starts coming our way, which we'll get a better idea of that here in a minute because this model more or less shows me the energy in place, rotations, rotation up drafts, that type of stuff. Gives me an idea where the heaviest of that would be. So there is a threat of a tornado or two over here. Let's take a look at the forecast model here, updated a little bit. I'm trying to refer to is actually the reflectivity. So let's run this on through here. We get a few little isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms. Looks like we have some to the west and northwest of us, and then we have a little line coming through here. Starting to get a little bit scattered. Looks like that is going to be around, looks like midnight. That's when that's coming through. Moving forward just a little bit more, there's our main line. That's going to be going to have those damaging winds, hail, even a tornado or two. Looks like they start entering our area around 5 a.m. 5, 6 a.m. in the morning is when they start moving into our area. And that's as far out as that model run lets me go. So around 5 a.m. in the morning, that's what the high-resolution rapid refresh is showing it getting into our area around 5 o'clock in the morning. So still, mean little system coming in here. Let's look at some of the other models here as far as the I'll get it right here in a minute. Forgive me, I'm just lost for words at the moment. Okay, get that back up there. Okay, CAPE. let's look at that. That's probably what I'm trying to refer to here. So the Cape is energy, um, and as you can see, there's a lot of it in place. Let's move the models on forward a bit. Get some insane readings out to the west and northwest of us and up into Tennessee. So something we'll have to watch, but I did notice the most intense Cape values being up to the northwest and to the west of us, but still that Gulf moisture is just streaming in from the south to the north with this warm front lifting it north. And then we have that cold front out to the west. It's going to bring it in. So conditions very favorable for damaging winds, large hail, and tornado or two. Looks like the tornado threat is about 5% according to what I've just seen. Damaging hail, I think it was about 15%. Damaging winds, very high risk of damaging winds. It goes on up there on the charts as some pretty nasty winds. And let's look at the wind shear. That's what I'm looking for here. How much wind shear we're going to have to deal with here. Got the model upgrade here, and we'll run that through. And a decent amount of shear spreads across the area, especially up there where the moderate risk is up in Tennessee. A lot of wind shear up there to deal with as the system comes across. But yeah, just a nasty looking little system. Let's take a look at that. Nasty looking little system coming in, that's for sure. Now we'll take another look for those that may be wondering about the timeline. So let's take a look at that really quick. Okay, so make sure you guys can see that like I see it. And of course, looks like you can't. So let me adjust it a little bit more. And you should be able to see it just like I do. Okay, yeah. Maybe a little bit more adjustment should fix it. Okay, so today's severe weather threat, level 3, enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms all of North Alabama. Overnight from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. models, high resolution rapid refresh models showing it getting here around 5 a.m., 6 a.m.-ish, somewhere right in there. Make sure you have a nearby sturdy shelter, indoor shelter, outdoor plans, stay weather aware, multiple ways to receive warnings. There is a possibility a watch goes up later. I do believe there will be a watch going up at some time today. Maybe into the night hours. So that depends on how much development we get. We expected some stuff to develop along the warm sector, warm front later on, but the high resolution rapid refresh didn't really show much of that until midnight maybe. But that being said, there's our timeline. If you're northwest Alabama, 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. If you're in Huntsville, areas like Huntsville, Fayetteville, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then clearing northeast Alabama between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. So interesting day ahead, that's for sure. Rather interesting night. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings. I do believe a watch will go up sometime. But for today's forecast, we'll move into that and also move into something else I want to show you while I'm at it. Today's chance of rain, about 40%. We move into the night, goes up to about 60 to 80% chance. Tomorrow, 100% chance of rain and storms in the morning from northeast Alabama. Be around 81 degrees. So that being said, let's move back to the models I was just at. And we're going to take a look at next week. Something interesting next week is coming as well. But we will run you through this again just to make sure everybody knows, for those that may just be joining. We do have that level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for all of North Alabama now. Damaging winds, hail, a brief tornado. Possible there's our tornado outlook about between 5 and 9%. So I know that doesn't seem like much, but on 2%, we usually have tornadoes. So 5% risk, concerning. Areas further north where the yellow hatched risk is, that's going to be your best chance of seeing some potentially long track, maybe even a violent tornado or two up there. Severe wind outlook, that's going to be our primary concern here. And we're all of northern Alabama is in the hatched risk of that. And what that hatched risk indicates is a strong confidence that we're going to have some damaging winds, 60 to 75 miles per hour possible. I just seen a note come up here, and it says hatched area has the potential of significant wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. So keep that in mind. That is a little note that just popped up there on the bottom. So something we're really going to keep an eye on is some of those damage and wind gusts. As far as the hail goes, that looks like the hatch risk of that is further to the northwest. They have hail that could reach up to 2 inches in diameter, maybe larger, over northeast Alabama and North Alabama. Looks like we should stay around quarter size hail, maybe just a bit larger. Some of the stronger updrafts, which according to the models, the stronger updrafts will be further northwest, but still can't rule out some larger than quarter size here. But looks like most of it should stay about quarter size hail here. So let's get back to my favorite forecasting site here, and we're going to take a look at next week, early next week. And let me move this on back. And we'll run this through here. Okay, so we get all this out of here. See if this model will even run through that far. If it doesn't, I'll have to do a little further out. Okay, let's move to the GFS because this one's not going to show me that far out. All right, get that system out of the way. Saturday, Sunday, need to go into Monday. Okay, so notice we get an increase in showers, maybe some thunderstorms on Monday. That's going to be due to a low pressure system forming to the south of us there, and it's going to be pushing some of that Gulf moisture up to the north. There's our low pressure trying to develop off the Gulf Coast there, and it looks like you guys can't even see it. I keep forgetting that y'all can't see what I see because I have to adjust it. Okay, let's try this again. There's that low pressure system off the Gulf. We're going to be watching that. We are getting into hurricane season, so keep that in mind. About to get into hurricane season, so there's our little low pressure off the Gulf there, actually going up into the Gulf there as we're going into Monday and into looks like Tuesday as well. Let me move the model around a little further. Looks like that low pressure eventually moves out. But we will have some rain and some thunderstorms with that. Seeing a little area here over northeast Alabama by Tuesday and Wednesday. All that pushes on out. So another low pressure we're going to watch next week early. Just see what it does. But that being said, hopefully that answers everybody's questions. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We'll look at radar again before we get ready to go out. Do have a few little pop-ups out there. Make sure you stay weather aware all day today, because today's going to be a day you need to stay weather aware for sure, especially overnight. The overnight hours, you have a better threat of damaging winds than you do a tornado. But as we've seen yesterday and days previous, can't rule out a tornado or two ever. So when it comes to this stuff, especially with a 5% risk and a level 3 outlook. So we'll keep an eye on it for everybody. It's going to be a busy day, busy night. Make sure you have ways to receive warnings, multiple ways. Stay safe. God bless. We're going to get out of here. And have a great rest of your evening, everybody. It's certainly 78 degrees. Winds are out of the west at 10. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. And like and subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate it. Also, Facebook.